Time clauses in English. Similar to dependent clauses in conditional sentences, time clauses in English indicate a period of time based on an action or event. For example, I will cook dinner when I get home. When I get home is a clause demonstrating a point in time, based on an action, event, the time that I get home, in place of a time such as I will cook dinner at 7 p.m. Time clauses begin with adverbs or adverb phrases that indicate that they represent a time, sometimes also functioning as subordinating conjunctions. These include when, after, until, as soon as, and before. Before the first lesson begins. Although they have a subject, verb and object, none of these are complete ideas, as they simply point to a time, similar to a clause that simply says, at 7 p.m. This is because when we form a time clause, the adverb of time joins two ideas, linking the main clause to the time in a dependent way. The two clauses could be separate sentences without the adverb of time. I will master English. I will complete every exercise in my textbook. Either of these could become a time clause, and therefore make the main clause dependent on the timing of the other. I will master English after I complete every exercise in my textbook. When I master English, I will complete every exercise in my textbook. Time clauses only use different rules for future tenses. When talking about past or present events, you can generally use regular tenses for time clauses. Before we cook pies, we wash our hands. He came home after he finished work. We had dinner before we watched the movie. For the future, we use the present tenses to talk about future times. He will finish reading the book after he eats dinner. Not after he will eat dinner. They are going to the museum before we arrive. Not before we are going to arrive. I might practice my pronunciation until my friend's lesson has finished. Not until my friend's lesson will have finished. Do not repeat the future tense in clauses with adverbs of time. As you can see in the examples above, when two clauses are joined by adverbs of time, the future form should not be repeated. She will meet me after it stops raining. Not after it will stop raining. I'll turn off my computer when he does. Not when he will. Time clauses, or when, clauses are often compared to if clauses. This is a logical comparison because when discussing the future they are grammatically very similar to the first conditional. A time clause shows the event will happen at a certain time, while the if clause shows it will happen if something else happens. As both make the main clause dependent on another detail, time or something that is possible, the grammatical construction is the same.